when he faked insanity but got completely humiliated. Nicholas Cruz, a 19-year-old, employed a strategy of feigning insanity in an attempt to secure a reduced sentence following his involvement in a horrific act of violence. Cruz's intention was to manipulate the legal system by presenting himself as mentally unstable, hoping it would lead to a lighter punishment for his actions, but what if he fails in front of authority? Let's watch what happened next. On Valentine's Day 2018, in Stoneman Douglas High School, Nicholas Cruz perpetrated one of the most shocking and devastating acts in U.S. history. He entered his high school in Parkland, Florida, and carried out a mass shooting, which tragically resulted in the loss of 17 innocent lives.
Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my god!
The attack sent shockwaves through the nation, leaving family, friends, and the community devastated. The shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School was a horrific event that unfolded rapidly. Cruz, armed with an AR-15 rifle, opened fire on students and faculty members, creating a scene of chaos and terror within the school's hallways and classrooms. He was caught by the police 2 miles away from the school. When police handcuffed him, they tried to ask what was up to him, to which Nicholas replies, "It's the voices."
What's going on today, bro?
Voices. Where's the voices?
From here, Cruz's statements are the beginning of an extensive web of lies that he spun to try to appear as mad. And when he gets brought in for interrogation, it only gets worse as the police lead him into the interrogation room. Cruz's comments here are the beginning of an elaborate web of lies that he spun to try and appear crazy. When he was taken into the interrogation room, he was sitting with his eyes down, but as he saw the camera and knew everything is being recorded, he changed his behavior and acted suicidal and showing gun-shooting gestures, including punching himself and making gestures to appear abnormal, all for attention, as the abnormality may help him reduce his sentence. The detective the police chose for Cruz was friendly. By employing a friendly demeanor, the detective aimed to create a more relaxed and comfortable atmosphere, potentially increasing the likelihood of Cruz sharing relevant details about the incident.
All right, how you doing, Nick? You all right? Gotta be able to speak so I can hear you. All right, I just need to ask you really your name and date of birth just to confirm I got it right, and I'm gonna see if you want a glass of water or something. What's your first name?
Cruz gave off the impression of being distant and bewildered, but his behaviors were clearly choreographed and did not align with his conduct in the past. The investigator asked for Cruz to have some water and made an effort to keep him talking in order to prevent Cruz from becoming withdrawn or acting erratically. He also told him that he'd be the last guy Cruz will be talking to, so it may be his last chance to say his side of the story.
Come on, Nick. Huh? Spell it for me. Okay. Again, man, unless you want me to sit in your lap because you're talking so quiet, you're gonna have to speak so I can hear you. Let's get a little closer to the table so me and you can communicate. What's your date of birth? Okay, you need to relax because I'm the last detective or policeman you're gonna have to talk to. So right off the bat, that should be somewhat comforting to you to know that I'm the last guy you gotta talk to. But the thing about it is, look at me. I gotta be able to hear you. So all I want to do is get basic information from you, and then we'll get into the, whether you want a glass of water. Let me do this. You want cold water? It's hot out there. I know I'm going to get a cold water. So if I come back with a cold water, again, I want you to understand, I'm the last guy you're going to have to talk to. What's happened has happened, but now me and you have got to kind of communicate so I can hear you. And again, I'm going to ask you, things about background and things about what happened.
As soon as the detective left, he changed his body posture again and acted up in front of the camera. He sought to manipulate the situation or draw attention to himself as a way to exert control or undermine the authority of the interrogators. By acting out, Cruz may have attempted to disrupt the normal flow of the interrogation or divert attention away from the serious nature of the crime he had committed.
Oh.
The detective enters the room again with the water bottle in his hand and tries to ask Cruz about whether he is living with his family or friends. to check up on his background, but Cruz remained silent. The detective tried to be as calm as possible. The detective did come to know about Cruz's mother's death 3 months before the attack. Other than that, there was no progress on the conversation.
Are you staying with a family member or a friend? Come on, you gotta relax, man. Because the questions I'm asking you right now are just your background questions. Okay? You know, I understand what we're gonna talk about is gonna be difficult, but you're the only one who can explain these things to me.
After some time, when the detective asked about the phone type Cruz is using, Cruz displayed panic and agitation when asked for his phone number. He seemed remarkably calm during his arrest and the initial questioning. When the detective asked for Cruz's phone number, he exhibited visible signs of distress. His breathing became erratic, and he appeared to be on the verge of a panic attack.
Okay, is it a flip top, an iPhone, a Samsung? Okay, Nick, calm down. You've already been medically cleared. I know what's going to be talked about is difficult, but again, you don't remember your phone number. How long you had the phone? Nick, the doctor's already looked at you.
Okay.
Okay, you're fine. You're not having any problems at the moment, so calm your breathing down. All right, and I want to believe certain things that you're going to tell me, but you know, if we're getting to where you're going to hyperventilate over a phone number, all right.
All right.
So what's your phone number?
The detective asked Cruz about any kind of drug intake he had since the morning, to which he shook his head to say no. The detective tried to figure out if Cruz is in his right mind or not, and asked vague questions like if Cruz knows where he is right now.
And when you went to bed this morning, did you do any kind of drugs at all? Any Xanax, any marijuana, anything like that? No. I always ask these questions because I don't know you, man. Crazy question. Where are you at right now? Do you know, are you in what kind of building you're in? You know what I do for a living? I'm a police detective. You know that? No. Okay, well, I'm a police detective.
The detective told Cruz about the cameras present in the school and what he has done. He has seen it all. But all he has done, for what reason, the detective didn't understand that. And he is trying to understand Cruz's side of the story. As Cruz simply said, "I don't deserve this." He might have some kind of remorse or something.
Remember one thing as we go into this, there's certain things I know, and I don't want you to get, you know, to the point where you think I'm being hard on you, but schools in particular got cameras everywhere. So I can see what happened, but I can't know what happened from your point of view until you tell me. You want to keep saying to me, I don't deserve it. So to me, that means you have some form.
As soon as Cruz started talking to the detective, he took the advantage of the situation and asked about all the voices. As Cruz said during the course of the interrogation, Nicholas Cruz made claims about hearing voices. He stated that these voices were instructing him and urging him to commit the violent acts. The detectives handling the interrogation took the claims seriously and engaged Cruz in a conversation about the voices he purportedly heard. They sought to understand the nature of these voices, their content, and their influence on his actions.
Did the voice tell you to buy that AR-15?
Yes.
Did it tell you, hey, buy that gun, it looks cool? How many different kinds of guns did you look at before you decided to buy that gun? And was the voice helping you pick out the gun, or was it just you picking?
No, it was a voice.
How many times has the voice talked to you while we've been in the room here together?
A lot.
Did the voice say jump out of the chair and do anything bad to that policeman? I don't really believe there is a voice, to be honest with you. No, I don't think there is. I mean, I feel you probably want to kill you because of what happened, but...
No, the voice is telling me to kill my...
Okay, but the voice is telling you that the AR-15s is... You like guns, man. You want to be a ranger. You like guns. It's all right. There's cops like that. There's cops who got 50 million guns. You didn't buy guns because the voice said, hey, today I like Mossbergs, tomorrow I like AR-15s. You like...
As detectives delved deeper into the discussion surrounding the voices Nicholas Cruz claimed to hear, they began to challenge the credibility of his statements. It was during this questioning and skepticism that Cruz's body language underwent a noticeable change, revealing signs of insecurity and a deep-seated need for protection. However, as the detectives probe further, raising doubts and scrutinizing the details, Cruz's demeanor begins to shift. He displays physical cues that betrayed his internal discomfort and vulnerability. As the interrogation progressed and doubts were raised about Nicholas Cruz's claims, the mounting pressure seemed to take its toll on him. Eventually, Cruz reached a point where he requested legal representation, effectively bringing the interrogation to a halt. This decision marked a crucial turning point in the investigation, as Cruz exercised his right to counsel and chose to no longer provide information without the presence of an attorney.
I don't think it exists.
Right.
Okay, now you're just acting like that because...
No.
Okay, well, relax. You're just acting like that because I'm making sense. Calm down. I'm making sense, and you don't like when it makes sense.
No.
Because it doesn't fit into the story you're telling right now.
I'm telling you the story. It's just true. It's just,
Well, why are you looking at your arm now?
I'm trying to understand why.
Well, why didn't you want to stop the demon?
I don't know.
Because I think you like the demon.
No, I don't.
Why didn't you stop it then?
I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon.
Well, that's if the demon even exists.
Can I get an attorney or something?
You want what? An attorney?
Yeah.
Did the demon or the voice just tell you to get an attorney? Okay. All right. Will you tell the voice that don't hurt yourself?
A few hours before the trial, a psychologist talked to Cruz, where he asked if Cruz had any kind of history of animal harm, and it turns out he had. The psychologist tried to ask about the incident that happened in school, and Cruz seemed uncomfortable while telling the details of what he did in school, a complete contrast to his original persona.
First person you shot, remind me what that was like and how you were able to, how you did that.
Scary. Oh, shit. I thought they would scream.
Uh-huh.
It was more like they passed out.
Okay.
Passed out and blood just came out, pouring out of their head.
Okay.
It was really nasty and sad to see.
Do you remember who the last person you shot was? Okay. And describe to me what happened.
His head blew up like a water balloon.
And then there was a girl you mentioned yesterday that was...
Yeah, she was on the stairwell. She was crawling. I shot her in the back.
Okay, and how come?
I told you I wanted to kill as many people as I could and
Okay.
take my life.
Okay.
So that was the goal. So